North Lake for Millville Vineland football on your local cable television channel. Channel 2 Vineland is being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Park Avenue and Delsey Drive in Vineland. By Minnesota National Bank, serving the Vineland area for 75 years of banking service. By Executive Business Products, 219 Landis Avenue in Vineland. By Hiles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. By Lurco Oil Company, 520 Chestnut Avenue in Vineland. By Bob's Auto Supplies, 1289 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. And by Dr. Mike Harvey's Vineland Chiropractic Center, 78 Park Avenue in Vineland, with 3 doctors on staff to serve you. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by United Jersey Bank, the fast-moving bank. By Dr. Jim Beebe's Millville Chiropractic Center, 1014 North High Street in Millville. By Daily Seafood, South Delsey Drive in Port Elizabeth. By the Waltman Agency, 8 West Vine Street in Millville. By Eschler's Body Shop, 2116 North Delsey Drive in Millville. By Hiles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. By Finch's Lawn Care and Landscape, 3rd and L Streets in Millville. By Newcomb's Market, Main and Byron Streets in Fort Norris. By Gantt Ferguson Insurance and Real Estate, 511 Buck Street in Millville. And by Tab's Auto Body Supply and Accessories, 2116 North Delsey Drive in the Holly City. Vineland Millville football on your local cable TV channel. Just a beautiful sunny day, but Tony, it's certainly a cool, crisp morning here at Gatone Stadium.
Good morning, Jim, and happy Thanksgiving to you and all the fans out there. Boy, it sure is a cold, crisp morning out here. You're sitting in the Vineland side, on the south side, in the shade. It is cold. If you didn't bring a blanket, you know about it. But when the sun's shining on you, but I tell you, one refreshing thing to see about this, and it's a shame it doesn't happen every week, is the number of people in the stands. I'm looking out here on Montrose Street, and there's a line that extends from the center gate of the stadium halfway down the street, which is great to have a good crowd like this for a football game. And we know it's Vineland Millville, and Vineland Millville, we always get that.
You're right, Tony. It draws very well, and of course, rightfully so. It should be a good ball game today. Both teams pretty evenly matched. Obviously, I think if you had to give an edge, if you were a betting man, you might bet on Vineland. But as Tony and I have talked about before we went on the broadcast or telecast today, we were talking about the fact that in these games, Tony, you absolutely throw out the record book, so to speak, and anything can happen. Of course, they have identical records. The only thing that would give Vineland, I think, the edge on paper is that Vineland beat Ocean City, that Millville lost to, and Vineland also gave Holy Spirit a run for their money, while Millville got shut out by Spirit.
Well, that's true, and a lot of us still think that Vineland should have beaten Holy Spirit. They're given a couple of breaks, which is always the case. You know, the Giants would have beaten the Eagles if Navarro hadn't dropped the pass, but it did happen. But Vineland, in fact, that game is what brought Vineland back together. Vineland had been playing 2 quarters of every game. Absegami, Atlantic City, in fact, even down to Atlantic City. Not to down Atlantic City, but they weren't the same kind of team. But after that Holy Spirit game, Vineland has played excellent football. The only problem being, of course, that they've had long layoffs between, and that's the problem. Vineland really coming together. But yeah, as we were saying, like 2 years ago, the score was 0-0 on a team that Vineland should have beaten very easily. And really this series, it's always been that way. You never know who's going to win the ball game because of the intensity, the rivalry, and the friendliness between the two schools. And the score could be anything, and just hope it's not a scoreless tie against him.
You're right. Tony, taking a look at the stats for the season, the 1988 records, of course, of both teams are 6-2. Vineland has scored more points than Millville. They scored 183. Millville scored 134. Millville's allowed just 66 points, though, while Vineland's allowed 105. Vineland has rushed for 1,995 yards, while Millville's rushed for 1,496. Millville has completed, or yards passing have been 236, while Vineland's yard passing 331. So far, the series stands at 56 wins for Vineland, 47 wins for Millville, and 18 ties in the 123rd meeting of these two teams here at Gatone Stadium. So it's certainly been a tremendous rivalry. And Tony, one thing that's going to happen today, you might want to mention, is the Daily Journal Cup.
Oh yeah, Jim, that is something of noteworthy to mention. But while I find that sheet of paper, let me mention one thing. Of the points Vineland has given up, 34 were given up in the first game to Pemberton. And I'd like to see Vineland play Pemberton now in the season, or later in the season, than because that game Vineland was strong between the 20s, and after that they seem to have trouble. But things have really come together since that game. So that 34 points makes a difference.
Sure does.
Yeah, this Victory Cup you're talking about is going to be awarded to the winner of this game, since it does go back to 1894. The only thing seemed to be missing was a commemorative trophy, And the Daily Journal Victory Cup is going to be awarded annually to the Clan Thunderbolt winner. It's going to be presented on the field after the contest and kept and displayed at the winning school for 1 year. It'll be presented annually, and unlike similar awards, it won't be retired after a period of consecutive wins. And there you see the trophy. The trophy stands over 3 foot high, features a football player atop a silver cup, and on its 3-tiered wooden base are results from all past meetings, as well as individual plates for future scores. And this is going to be presented by the publisher, Louis Borsoni, after the game, and that's a great thing to have.
It is. I commend Lou Borsoni and Mr. Leonard, Mr. Brandt, all the people at the Daily Journal for their civic-mindedness. I think it's really great. And they certainly have some beautiful pictures, color pictures in the Daily Journal yesterday. I have a copy of it here with us in the press box. The clarity of those color pictures is outstanding. It really looks very nice. We've got quarterback Chris Viso, is that correct, for Vineland, and they have Vince Selby, a shot at him. Millville along with quarterback Wayne Smith in the pictures. Millville band getting ready to come out, and
that's something put out there by Vic Voltaggio and Skip Wright of the Booster Club. Something additional they added to the field for this big day. Okay, offensive lineup for Vineland. Number 13, Chris Viso, is 5'9", 160-pound quarterback, and he's a senior. Also, number 40, John Buckaloo. Now, John didn't play very much. He hurt himself, had a groin injury against Millville. They didn't play much on offense. He did play some defense. John Buckaloo, 5'11", 180-pound fullback. He's a senior. He leads the team in scoring. He has 56 points. Number 23, William Hicks, 5'8", 190-pound running back. Also a senior, explosive inside and outside. Number 24, Kevin Hart, 5'8", 175-pound running back, and also a senior. Another excellent running back, is over 750 yards. Number 53, Matt Hart, 5'11", 185-pound center, senior. Number 84, Joe Crescenzi, 6'2", 180-pound. The tight end, a senior. Joe started out at the wide receiver spot in the first game, had 6 passes. Since they moved him to tight end, and he's only had 2 or 3 passes since then, but excellent blocker and really gets in there. And number 11, Robert Haydak, 6 foot, 175-pound wide receiver, senior. In fact, what I should say is everybody's a senior, not to save me a lot of trouble there. Number 72, Milt Morris, 6'5", 275-pound tackle. Also the kickoff man who's been reaching the end zone quite frequently. Number 73, Jeff Bays, 5'11", 215 tackle. Number 70, T.J. Patch, 5'9", 210 guard. And number 63, Roger Marandino, 5'10", 175-pound guard. And what I've heard is it should be very interesting between DeMorit and Marandino banging heads in this game.
Okay, and Vic Voltaggio saying, here comes the Clan, and boy, they sure are, as they are coming out on the field.
Yeah, we're going to do something a little different this time. They've got Coach Dick Mazzola. He was wearing shorts, and I guess he thinks he's had burns of Holy Spirit. But I hope he puts his pants on because it's awfully cold out here. And what they're going to do is introduce the senior football players and also the senior cheerleaders, and they're going to do the same thing with the Millville players, introduce the Millville senior football players and the Millville senior cheerleaders. At least that's what the plan.
Let's... Introducing the Millville cheerleaders and players, the seniors.
Number 14, Greg Watkins. Number 23, William Hicks.
senior players for Vineland, and of course the senior cheerleaders with Dick Voltaggio doing the introduction. Couldn't ask for two nicer coaches. Here's the opening kickoff. There's Milt Morris's kick. It's a high one, taken at about the 20-yard line by one of the upmen for Millville. Comes up across the 25 and is close to the 30-yard line. And I believe that might have been Troy Lee. So it'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Millville. They'll take over at their own 30-yard line here at Gatone Stadium before a standing room only crowd.
You know what I was to say about Vineland too, Jim? I think they're probably the most underrated team or unrecognized team in South Jersey. In the last 4 games, they've averaged over about 30 points a game, and they're giving up 64.5 points a game.
Absolutely.
And they're just a great football team.
They sure are. Power I with Smith calling the signals.
Offsides. Man was got offsides. I think it was number 43 for Vineland. He sort of lunged forward.
Yeah, you see if he was drawn off or nope. You're right, Tony. It was just he jumped off a little anxious. So it was Willie Hart. Did you say 43? So it's first down, 10 yards to go, or 5 yards to go rather now for Millville instead of first and 10.
Another thing we want to look for too, I think, Jim, is we talk about the running games. We're going to watch Smith. I think we're going to see Dwayne throw the ball a little more today.
Okay, Smith fakes the handoff. He pitches it back, and that's Selby, and he's gone nowhere. Great defense by Vineland with a host of people. 61 was one of them. That's Dave Rabbits in there to make that stop.
Dave didn't play too much earlier this season. He had come back off an injury, but he's certainly come a long way. And there are a couple others too that come in there and do a great job on defense for Vineland. But I did see that Millville Holy Spirit game, and I was surprised that Smith ran 19 times in that game.
Okay, we have no picture on our monitor. I hope that's not an indication that we have no picture going out. It's a handoff first man going through Selby. He picks up maybe 3 yards, and tackling him was Dean Castellini.
Little counter misdirection play. Millville, the linebackers worked very well. Stayed home and made the play. So now, as you said, Millville's faced with a third and short situation. Very difficult third and short to more than a yard, almost 2 yards, I guess. It's going to be very difficult for Millville, I think, to pick up first downs on the ground against Hunt.
You're right. Third down and a couple with a wishbone. There's the handoff, and just
make it.
Maybe.
Maybe
I don't
he
think
did,
so.
maybe he didn't.
You're
but,
right. Probably close, Tony.
Yeah.
Ball carrier was Barry Cephas, and it's where they spot it. It is going to be
They got
very
a big mark
close.
there, Jim. Millville got a mark across. Well, I thought the ball was across. Now, it's where the ball is, and the ball was across. It did break the 40-yard line.
Yeah, but the marker.
It's going to be close.
It sure is, because the marker actually is closer, about maybe a foot or so over the 40.
It looks like he has it made by an inch or two, really.
Yeah, it all depends on the marker.
Did they line the field straight here?
Well, no, the field really undulates. Okay, oh, that's a nice word, but the field undulates.
What that means?
You know what, Hank? You were right.
They made it.
You were absolutely right by about 3 inches. Here, see a good shot of the officials down there.
You know, we saw like the Eagle game on Sunday. Everybody thought Cunningham made the first touchdown. The official said no. Second touchdown, everybody thought he didn't make it, and the official said yes. So
you're right, Tony.
Depends what John Madden, right foot or left foot.
Good effort by, was it Selby? Carried the ball? Cephas.
Yeah. Cephas, Selby, and the other guy in the backfield there. It's Stubbs, aren't Stubbs. There's the handoff to Cephas. Cephas running well up near midfield before he's finally brought down by Joe Crescenzi. Crescenzi grabbed him and brought him down at the midfield line, so very close to another first down. Going to be about a half a yard short of a first down. They'll bring up second down and less than a yard to go for a first down. Nice burst of speed by
also good blocking by Lambert that time. We're seeing, probably two of the premier centers, which is unusual. We have 2 great centers in one high school game. Of course, Lambert, and then is it Howe or Howe? Howe. 2 great centers in this game today.
Iango Bowyer goes to the far side. Everybody else in tight with a wishbone. Smith calling the signals. Hands it off. Second man coming through is Vince Selby. He has more than a first down. Close to the Vineland 40-yard line goes Selby, and he is dropped there by Jamie Lapsley, one of those tacklers, number 64. Also John Perez, number 54.
Yeah, that quick opening. Really nice.
Some great blocking. And
right through that same spot.
I think that was Brian Serace over there, number 60, throwing one block. And I think the tackler there was Rick Weldon.
Okay, it's going to bring up a first and 10 for Millville. The ball just shy of the Vineland 40-yard line. Again, the wishbone formation. Smith calling the signals. He hands it off, second man through Barry Cephas. Cephas has a couple of yards, maybe down to about the 38-yard line where he is stacked up at that point. Try to pick up the guy that gets off the pile for Vineland.
It's interesting. Millville's elected seems to run instead of trying to go around Vineland's strength, to run right at their strength. And so far, they're having some success doing that thing.
Yeah, that's well, that's it. The strategy's playing one way, and then if you counter that strategy, it's like a chess game, and those two, Parentazi and Cerez, can do it.
They sure can. Receiver to the top of the screen. Wishbone formation. Smith bootlegging. He's got
Didn't
the ball.
fool anybody.
No, he didn't. He's going to be dropped. Great defensive play by Dean Castellini. Castellini got Smith for a loss of about 5 on the play, back to around the 44-yard line. Give Castellini a lot of credit.
Yeah, I'll tell you who made that play, though. Jim was number 15, the defensive back, and number 11 for
Ernie
Vineland.
Bernhardt, Robin
number
Haydak.
11 was Haydak and Bernhardt. They weren't fools. A play-action pass. And I was thinking, well, that would be a great play night right now. Vineland playing real tight defensively. Right. Go to that play-action pass if you're Millville, and they did, but those backs read it very well.
And Larry Bocchese, defensive coordinator, called the right defense. That's right.
Matt Cook goes to the top of the screen. Dyer to the bottom. Holmes to the bottom, rather. Smith falls down on 3rd and about 13 as he just was going to keep it apparently himself. Is dropped, and it brings up a punting situation for Millville. Covering was John Perez on the play. So 4th down, and Smith will go back in punt formation. So the Vineland defense comes to the occasion as Millville was driving down to the Vineland 40, but pushed them back to the 44, and now Smith is forced to punt.
Nice job, too, by Perez. Perez has been coming in and doing a great job right along.
Brad Bernardini, along with Kevin Hart, the deep end for Vineland. There's a snap, a little high, but gets a nice kick away. Bernardini on the run at the 15 and gets up to the 18 and is smacked down very hard there by number 68 for Millville, Bryce Hogan, Coach Bob Hogan's son. We got 1st and 10 for Vineland. The ball is at the Vineland 19-yard line where they'll take over their first series on offense. You'll look there at the fence behind the goalpost and behind the Vineland huddle. You'll see many of the people standing, and there's a large standing crowd here. There's the handoff. And
Fumble.
The ball's loose. Millville's recovered.
That's
Dean DeMore.
Dean DeMore, of course, making that play. That's something neither team, where I was going to say at the top of the game, just can afford to do, and that's make those mental mistakes. You know, Vineland did that a couple times, I think, last year that hurt them early, and neither team, they're just so evenly matched, can afford to do that inside their own 20-yard line.
That was Buckaloo, I believe, the ball carrier, coughed it up, and it's going to be 1st and 10 as Gene DeMore comes up with a big play. Millville now takes over at the Vineland 21, so the Vineland defense again going to have to come to the occasion here early in the football game. Kevin Holmes goes to the left part of your screen. Everybody else in tight with a wishbone formation. Smith calling the signals. Long count. Hands the ball off to Stubbs. Art Stubbs goes off the right side and is down to about the 18-yard line. So it'll be a gain of about 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Television, your video headquarters for any videotaping. Call Paul Kell at Television, 327-3958, and also by Thomas's Video Mania in the Riverview Shopping Center in Millville. Vineland High School football being brought to you by Dr. Mike Harvey's Vineland Chiropractic Center. And handoff to Selby down near the 15 or 16. Number 50, John Hersey, and also Jamie Lapsley in for Vineland. Pickup of a couple on the play, 3rd and a long 5, or 3rd and about 5, we'll say, from the 15-yard line.
Jim, that Lapsley does a good job on defense. They missed him against Holy Spirit. He was out hurt that day and could have influenced things a little bit.
I was impressed with him, Tony, the game I did against Atlantic City. Holmes wide to the right side, everybody else in the wishbone. There goes the handoff. Cephas running hard. Down nearer 1st down. He's close to the 10-yard line. I don't know whether or not he got it. Ernie Bernhardt near him there, number 15, and Bob Haydak, number 11. And we may have another measurement. Apparently not. He's going to be short by about a yard. Well, you talk about a big play early in the ball game. 4th down.
That was a counter trap play too, Jim. And I tell you, I'm really impressed with Bryant's race. Did he start against Holy Spirit? Did he get a start last week? This must be his first start. And of course, when you got to get home and have Thanksgiving dinner with the head coach, I guess you
you better
have to play
well.
A little more intense than the rest of the guys.
If you want to eat, that's
That's right. That's it. You want the drumstick, you go out and play the football game. There's fourth down, handoff, and inside the 5, down to about the 3, is Barry Cephas running hard on the play, a burst of speed. Haydack finally saved what could have been a touchdown, but it's first down, goal to go. The ball is at the 3-yard line, or 4-yard line.
With the offensive line of Millville. Priestley throwing a great block, getting off the ball very quick that time. But that whole offensive line, that's been the difference in the game so far.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's going to be for both teams because they've both done well.
Yes, they have. And Millville's offensive line pushing out. Wishbone formation, Smith calling the signals. Smith hands the ball off and not going anywhere. Make it to Selby. Selby maybe at the most a yard. He's going off the left side. A host of Vineland tacklers down there to bring him down.
You know, it's early to be saying something like this, but go back to that ball mark when Millville made that first down by inches. You know, they would have had to kick from about the 35.
Yeah, it would have been sooner.
And as it is, they got to move down the field. Then they picked it up on the fumble, but still, little things like that cause a lot of things to turn.
Rabbits was in on the tackle. Dave Rabbits for Vineland. Wishbone formation, second and goal from about the 4. There goes the handoff to Selby. He's in for the score. Vince Selby goes in to score at the 3:24 mark here in the first quarter from 4 yards out.
I think what Vineland does in Millville, I guess they're the same kind of, they have swarming defenses, and they're so quick defensively, both teams, that they react very quickly to the first movement of the ball, Jim. And every big play down the field, you noticed, and it was a misdirection play. It was either a counter play, misdirection, faking one way and going back the other, either a trap or a counter, and that's exactly what they did on that play. It was a counter play, faking right and going back to the left side of the line of scrimmage.
Okay, here comes South Delsey Drive in Port Elizabeth, the Waltman Agency, 8 West Vine Street in Millville. Vineland High Football being brought to you by Lurco Oil Company, 520 Chestnut Avenue, Vineland, and Bob's Auto Supply, 1289 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. Many of our sponsors making this telecast possible on your local cable television channel, Channel 2, Vineland, Channel 4, Millville. Scott Shea's kickoff is a good one, being taken by Hart at about the 3, to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Across the 20, runs into a Millville defensive man. That's right, yeah, that's all right. And he's finally dropped at the 25-yard line.
He just put his helmet in the man's stomach and just kept moving his legs.
And that was a good return. He took it almost on his own goal line, and getting it out to about past the 25 was a good return.
First and 10 for the Fighting Clan as they take over second time on offense. The last time they had that fumble. Chris Viso, the quarterback, with the wishbone backfield.
Somebody's offsides.
Already, huh?
Well, that's the way the game started with the first play was offsides.
Millville was trying to blitz, but I think one of the guards, offensive guards, may have moved a little bit.
You're right, Hank.
Vineland.
So first and 15 is Vineland putting themselves in a little bit of a hole here with a first down and 15 with a 5-yard penalty. Bob Haydack comes in the ball game for Vineland at a wide receiver spot. The running backs are Buccalo, Hicks, and Hart. Quarterback is Chris Viso. Joe Crescenzi is in at one of the tight end spots. Center is Matt Hout. Is that right?
Matt Hart.
Matt Hart. Okay, this pitch to Hicks, and he is dropped.
Flag. Lee, they called the 17, Lee. Official on this end out here.
Okay. The flag was thrown around the 30, but apparently it's against Vineland.
It's against Vineland. Face mask. Or clipping, they said.
I think it was an illegal block downfield by the wideout on Lee. I couldn't see who the wideout was. But a great play by DeMorat. It was a blitz with the linebacker, and it looked like no one blocked him. And that's if there's one guy on Millville you have to block, it's DeMorat.
You're right.
And he was able to make the play, but it will be declined, so that'll give him a first and what, Jim? You figure it out. 20.
About 21. Yeah. 20, right? Okay. Actually, it is 21. They mark it back at the 14-yard line. Vineland's 14. Carrying the ball was Hart. Comes up to about the 17. Bill Musey made the stop for Millville.
both teams running a option kind of offense, and it's difficult. You know, when you get stuck in these 3rd and 20 situations, that's not the kind of offense you want to have to run.
Plays like that in the book, that's for sure.
Yeah, makes it tough when you're running.
It's something. Both teams playing that wishbone now, and there was a time when you only saw a wishbone now and again.
Absolutely. You got Hart in the slot on the far side of the field, and Haydack all the way to the far side. Back is Viso looking, throwing it. It's incomplete. Intended out there for number 24, Kevin Hart, underthrown, and it'll be a punting situation for the Vineland Fighting Clan.
I think we'll see Vineland settle down. They're a senior team, Tony, you know, and they don't make those kind of mistakes, and that's been the difference in the game so far. Has been the mental errors, the penalties, and the mental errors by Vineland. And I'll be very surprised if by the end of this quarter they don't settle down and start playing better football.
Haydack back about his own 2. Good snap. And the ball gets over the head of Barry Cephas. It's still rolling around, and it's going to go out of bounds. Good kick by Bob Haydack as the ball goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So it'll bring up a 1st and 10. Millville's, they take over on offense at their own 36. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Finch's Lawn Care and Landscape, 3rd and L Streets in Millville, and Ushler's Body Shop, 2116 North Delsey Drive in Vineland, while Vineland High football being brought to you by Executive Business Products, 219 Landis Avenue in Vineland, and Hiles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland, and Hiles also brings you Millville High School football as well. Jerry, Pat, Matt, and all the gang at Hiles Appliance, where they have that 3%, as does Executive Business, and many of our Millville Vineland merchants with the Urban Enterprise Zone. You can take advantage of that 3% sales tax with the Christmas holiday season upon us. By all means, make sure you shop locally and support all of our local merchants, and in particular the sponsors of Millville Vineland football on your local cable. Here's the handoff to Selby. Selby picks up a couple of yards, gets up to about the 38-yard line. He was stopped by number 32, Jim Walters, for Vineland High School.
Go back to that punt by Haydack. That was a big play. You know, Millville could have ended up with field position inside Vineland territory, but he got off an excellent punt that time. That was a very big play offensively for Vineland.
He got a nice roll on that.
Yeah, he did. Got over Cephas' head, and it got a good roll, went out of bounds at 36. 2nd down, 7. Smith pitches the ball back to Cephas. Cephas tries to cut back upfield, doesn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage. Lapsley, but the first one to hit him over there for Vineland was number 15, Ernie Bernhardt. So it's going to be a loss of about a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for first.
Get back to something I said before about both teams playing that wishbone. There was a time you didn't even know how to practice, that the defense didn't know how to act against a team because it had a wishbone, just like the old days of the single wing. You remember that, Jim?
Oh, sure do. Kevin Holmes.
Millville in this situation, I'm sorry, Jim, but running this direction, they will see him come back to the alongside the field here with a screen play.
Okay, there's the handoff to Cephas, and he doesn't have enough. He gets over the 40 to about the 43-yard line, where again, Lapsley, number 64, was one of the tacklers for Vineland High School, so it's going to bring up a punting situation. Good defensive series there for the Vineland defense.
Well, you know, you'll probably see some changes too on the offense. Against Mainland, they did come out and throw an option pass, which is something Vineland never did before. And the offense will change. The offensive strategy will give them something. Well, it's Millville. The last game.
Catone Stadium in Vineland. Smith stands at his own 27-yard line. Bernardini and Hart are the deep men for the Fighting Clan. Good snap. Smith's kick is a high one. So it takes a Millville bounce. It's bouncing down around the 25, inside the 25. It's down at the 24-yard line. So it will be 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan inside their 25. Downing the ball was Sperringer for Millville, and Vineland will take over on offense.
Vineland's been in the vicinity of that 20-yard line. First quarter, they spent a lot of time there.
Sure did.
They're back in that same area. And strangely enough, they're starting off the way they did, like in Gambia, Atlantic City. Seem to stay in one area, and all at once things break out. Hopefully, of course, I'm prejudiced.
Nah.
You guys are too. So.
No. Okay, we got a wishbone formation behind the quarterback Chris Visa. Chris hands it off to John Buckaloo. Or no, he didn't take it. You bet I did. John played that well with the Hart, and Hart brought it up across the 30 to 32-yard line. And I think some of the Millville players were also fooled, as was your announcer. Bill Corbett made the stop for Millville.
That was the best I've seen Vineland get off the ball. Really good execution that time offensively. I would say it is early in the game, but I think this is, I was going to say, an important drive for Vineland for them to establish something in this early in this quarter, and they've done just that, picking up 8 yards on the first play.
Joe Crescenzi comes to the nearest down at the bottom of your screen.
Buckaloo.
And he gets maybe a yard or two on it, close to a first down, up to about the 38 or 39 yard line. On the bottom of the pile for Millville High School was number 61, Frank Benevento.
One thing about the Vineland offense, they get the ball up the middle, and he's good going up. So can Kevin Hart, so can Bill Hicks, but then Hicks and Hart go well to the outside.
Yeah, they have great speed.
That's a problem for the defense, and they've got to get in there quick or they have a problem.
Absolutely.
Big problem.
Bernardini to the top of the screen. Wishbone behind quarterback Chris Viso. Chris calling the signals. He hands it off to Buckaloo that time, and he's got the first down across the 35 up to the 36-yard line. It was Corbett again, I believe 91.
Yeah, Frank
Benevento 61.
The nose guard, the middle guard that time, Jim. Met Buckaloo head on and right in the hole there, but Buckaloo making a really good play to pick up that extra. Buckaloo got that hole in the center.
Haydack goes to the top of the screen split. Wishbone formation. Chris Viso calling the signals. And that is Hart, and he's dropped right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a half a yard or so. Again, Benevento, number 61. For Millville on a stop along with Dion Henry. So it's a gain of a yard on the play. Call it second down and 9. The ball at the Vineland High School 37-yard line. Coming in is Bernardini for Vineland High with the play. Going out is Haydack.
Chris Viso has really matured as the season went on. You know, he's a senior and covered 2 games the first game. Took the snap, you know, at the start. Really come a long way.
In motion goes Hicks. Here's the pitch back to Hicks. And Millville defense comes up and puts him down right around the line of scrimmage. Benevento against 61. Troy Lee coming up from his defensive back position.
Most defenses play good football, and you have to be careful about Millville playing right now. They're playing all the way. Their defensive backs are very good to stop them. They haven't played
Tony tells us they do have a
They really stretched that play out and then shot at Hicks.
So it's third and 11, a loss of about 3 on the play, and there's whistles, flags, motion, or movement, or something happened on the line of scrimmage. So we'll wait and see what the penalty is going to be.
Millville fellas putting their arms up, so it must be against Vineland.
They always go that way. Yeah, that hurts right at this point when you've got a third and 10 and a half or so. Now you got third and 15 and a half. It makes a big difference in this.
Third and 15.
last drive for the first quarter, they're facing that third and 15. Both situations, probably a mental mistake.
Bernardini and Hicks are split to the top of the screen. Back to pass is Chris Viso. Chris throwing it out to Buckaloo and he drops it. John Buckaloo trying to get the ball. I think he wanted to run before he actually had the ball. He was looking to spin upfield. So it's an incompleted forward pass. It'll bring up a punting situation for Haydack and the Vineland Fighting. Land fourth down at about 15 and a half to go.
You know, that was a good play, too. But Buckaloo had a blocker in front of him, and there was plenty of room to amble. At least he could have made the first down.
That's exactly the kind of play they have to run, but you have to catch the football.
Yeah,
Haydack at his zone 15. Low kick. It's going to bounce. Picked up by Selby, or Cephas rather, comes across midfield into Millville, or Vineland territory rather, right around the 49. Or are they going to mark it just shy of midfield? I think they're going to mark it right around the midfield line. So it'll be first and 10 Millville. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Tracy Ushler's Tabs Auto Body Supplies and Accessories, 2116 North Delsey Drive in the Holly City, and by Newcoast Market, Main and Byron Streets in Fort Norris. VHS football on Channel 2 Vineland being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Delsey Drive and Park Avenue in Vineland, and Minnesota National Bank, serving the Vineland area for over 75 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Wishbone formation behind quarterback Smith. He hands it off, not going very far, is Cephas. He has maybe a yard gain on the play. Haydack came up, number 11, but also heading off the bottom of that pile for Fighting Clan looks like number 42, Gary Johnson. Maybe it was 43, Willie Hart. Yes.
Percy and Robert, yeah. Hey, Jim, the last person's coming through the gate.
Are they really just
Yeah.
now?
Just now, right?
Wow, we're
At least behind
we're
us.
over half an hour from the start, which is really great. Super crowd on hand. Wishbone formation. Holmes to the near side split. Handoff going to Stubbs. Stubbs goes across the 45 down to about the 43 to the 43-yard line. In on the stop for Vineland High School was John Perez, number 54. It's going to be third down and about 3.5 to go for first down for Millville. They had the ball at the Vineland 43.
They're using Stubbs a lot. In the stats, Stubbs carried the ball 25 times during the season, and he's only carried the ball twice now, but he's still got 4 yards to carry.
Yeah, he hasn't played too much until just the last few games when they've gone to the Wishbone. Split backfield now, and Smith back to pass, third down. He's being rushed. He looks, he's throwing it long, way overthrown. Intended for number 31 for Millville, Iango Valier, and it'll be a fourth down punting situation for Dwayne Smith.
Nicely he fell, though. Valier fell, though, as if he had been knocked out.
Well, he actually was knocked out, but it doesn't matter because neither one of them could have called the
Right.
ball. So, you know, it wasn't a call that he would make. It definitely wouldn't be an interference call. They kind of got tangled up and fell. So you don't make that call if it's not a catchable ball anyway.
I think he tripped on his own
Yeah,
legs
they
more
were
than
both
anything else.
going for the football, so it really wouldn't have mattered. It was a bad call that they made it either way.
Smith standing back at the 42, gets the low snap and gets the kick away. It's bouncing around and it is taken and dropped immediately. Was Bernardini. Give him credit, he hung on to that football at the 15-yard line, plus he saved the ball from going in any further into the...
Shelby's doing it all today. Great offensively, two big defensive plays, and now he's doing it on the specialty units also.
And Vineland's back inside the 20 again.
Yeah, they've had poor field position. Millville leads it 7-0 with 7 minutes exactly remaining in the second quarter. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by United Jersey Bank, the fast moving bank, and VHS football being brought to you by Dr. Mike Harvey's Vineland Chiropractic Center, 78 Park Avenue, Vineland. In motion goes Hicks. Hand off to Hart. Hart breaks into the secondary, quick running up to the 25-yard line, close to a
Depends on
first
the mark
down.
now.
Deion Henry made the stop for Millville.
He just moved it back.
That's been the play
first
working
down.
for Millville. You know, they say, if it's for them, why don't we run it?
That's right.
A little misdirection. You know, taking one side of the line of scrimmage, coming back to the second back on the other side. It's been a big play for those teams.
That'll be a first down, 10 yards to go for Vineland. The ball just over the Vineland 25. Haydack comes to the bottom of your screen. Wishbone formation with the quarterback Chris Viso. Viso hands the ball off to Hicks, and Hicks has a couple of yards as he goes off the left side, up to about the 28 or 29-yard line.
Yeah, it was nice blocking by the left side of that Millville line over there. Someone threw a outstanding block. I think it may have been number 71.
Jeff Bays. Benevento for Millville made the tackle, so it'll be second down and about 7 yards to go. Ball at the 29-yard line. Bernardini wide to the far side. Wishbone. Viso calling signals. Chris is back. He's looking. He's throwing it long. It's up in the air, and it's incomplete. Intended it for Bernardini. Coverage by Troy Lee, and also covering back for Millville was number 39, Brian Barber.
You know, that's one of those Al Mallon passes that was kind of high, but he threw to a spot. And Bernardini's had a circle under it. And Vineland, the Millville defensive man kept him off just enough because if he'd been able, he didn't miss it by that much.
Yeah, Bernardini ran
Outstretched
a
arms.
nice pass route in there. The ball's been a little too high.
Yeah.
Turned up for grabs. They've been able to lead him out there, but it was a nice pass route by Bernardini.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Bernardini, Brad Bernardini, Dr. Bernardini's son.
Hart comes to the near side. Everybody else in tight with the split backfield. Viso hands the ball off to Hicks, and Hicks is dropped for right around the line of scrimmage at the 29-yard line. So it's going to be fourth down, and we're going to have a punting situation.
Well, Urbano was running a wide slot to this side of the field that time, Jim, and Millville didn't pick up. They only had one defender out there on the two wide out there, and plus they were blitzing both linebackers. So they had an audible. Had they picked up on that, it could have been trouble for Millville.
Millville playing dangerous on defense. So far, they've been successful. Hadak stands at his own 15-yard line. Snap is a good one, and it's an excellent kick. Taken at the 33 by Troy Lee to the 35 to 36, and he's dropped very good by Hicks. Hicks making the stop. Bill Hicks, real good defensive coverage. So it'll be 1st and 10 Millville. They take over at their own 37-yard line, or 36-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Thunderbolts. They lead at 7-0. 4:55 to go in the first half.
That was nice coverage, punt coverage by Hicks, Jim. And he's another one of those players. For Vineland, he can do it all. You know, he can offensively, defensively, on the special teams. He gets down there and doesn't take much of a break. I guess he doesn't play much defense, though, does he?
Oh, yes, he does.
Does he?
Holmes.
He plays some.
Telling him,
There's a fumble by the Vineland. The 1st and 10 for Vineland, as it was Nick Selby who fumbled the football going into the line, and it looks like it may have been number 61, Dave Rabbits, who covered that ball. He's all excited, and it'll be 1st and 10 Vineland. Good break for the Fighting Clan. Of course, Millville got that good break earlier in the game. See if Vineland can capitalize the ball at the 39-yard line of Millville.
another thing it could do, it could change that field position thing. You know, where since the beginning of the game, Vineland put themselves in the hole and have been deep in their own hole the whole half. And now they have better field position for the rest of the half.
Right, Bernardini and Hart come to the near side, split backfield. Visto hands the ball off. Corbett drops Bookaloo, but he picks up a couple of yards on the play.
You know, Jim, take a look at this field, man. Look at this crowd. That's the kind of crowd you ought to have in high school football.
You're right. A lot better than it was at the Atlantic City game, Tony.
Well, you take a look at this crowd, there's quite a few people standing back there in line, the concession stand as well.
Yeah.
But that's a great crowd for high school football.
Sure is. Just a shame it's not all the time, although Millville's had a tremendous turnout for people this year with the Friday night games. But this is a morning game, and this is the Turkey Day game. They can play this anytime. They can get a great crowd. This is a good one. There's the pitch is loose. Luckily for Millville, or Vineland rather, no Millville players were around it. Hicks covered it back to the 46-yard line.
Selby and Corbett enforcing that pitch, coming down very tight. Now you do want to option off one of those guys, but they just packed down so quickly on that quarterback. He didn't have an opportunity to get that good pitch off.
Who do I give the -18 to?
That's true. Good point. Yeah. You hate to give it to poor Hicks. I guess it is Hicks, though, isn't it?
We've had some problems. Viso's had some problems on that pitch out. That's happened frequently.
Okay, it's going to bring up a third down 23. Ball at the 30 or the 47-yard line. Viso back to pass. He's looking. He's trying to throw. He shoots it. It's incomplete. Looked like he lost the handle on it a little bit. I think he was intending it out here for Joe Crescenzi, and it was between Crescenzi and Brad Bernardini, about halfway in between the two of them.
Bernardini was out beyond the safety too. But
Yeah.
if he could have the chance, of course, there's this wall of jerseys looking right at you. And he's not the tallest kid in town.
No, that's for sure. Hadak at the 33-yard line. Hadak gets away another boomer. Troy Lee drops the ball. Vineland has it. May have been. Let's see who gets off that
Who
football.
got that ball?
They did. I know that. I was just trying to see which player.
34
34
and
recovered it.
61 were down there.
Pete Castellini and Dave Rabbits. So again, Vineland with a good break. First down, 10 yards to go. They take it at the Millville 16-yard line.
Yeah, the difference in the game is that Millville's total dominance so far defensive. They just totally dominated the game. But you get on that field too long,
That's right.
then you're going to get tired. And you can't. And an explosive team like Vineland, like I said, they've been averaging over 30 points in the last 4 games, and you can't keep them scoreless, making mistakes like that.
There's Hicks, and he's dropped in the backfield, loses a couple of yards. Wilton, 77 there, along with 39 for Millville, Ryan Barber.
How's their field goal unit?
Good.
Greg Loftus has kicked a 25-yard field goal. We only had the one attempt, but
That was against Atlantic City. I saw that one.
yeah, he can kick a field goal.
Okay, so it'll be second down and 12. Loss of a couple on the play the ball at the 18-yard line. Hadak goes to the far side. Everybody else in tight with a wishbone. Chris Viso calling the signals with the wishbone formation. Chris hands it off to Hart. Hart down to the 15-yard line, picks up about 3, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe even another half a yard or so. Board 126, Millville up 7-0. Third down and about 10 for Vineland. Bernardini and Hart come wide to the right side. Chris is back. He throws it out to Hicks in the flat. Hicks has the ball and is running, but he has dropped it around the 12 or 13-yard line. Gene DeMort over there, 14-yard line. Chris Bisso back. He's being pursued. He's looking. He's rolling. He's throwing it. It's complete. In for the score. Bernardini. Great play by Bisso as he rolls out, hits Bernardini in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown with 1:05 remaining in the first half.
We designed it, but he did go over to that side. Very impressive.
Well, as I said, he throws a nice pass line right where it should go.
Roll out 14-yard pass by Chris Visso to Brad Bernardini. Ties us, well, put it 7-6, and then, of course, Greg Loftus's extra point kick ties it up at 7-7. There's 1:05 remaining in the first half, and Milt Mars is going to kick the football off. It's a short kick, and it's going to go out of bounds.
You know, he's a little eccentric in that respect, in that he'll put that ball in the end zone 2 out of 3, but that third time it can go out anywhere. Usually does.
You're right, and that's keeping with his streak there, I guess.
I remember one game last year, kicked it out of bounds twice, and the third time, Coach Bertazzi put another kicker in. He's giving away 5 yards at a clip.
Like that last series, the first series of the second quarter, we said was very important for Vineland. Now this is going to be a very important offensive series for Millville, Jim. The momentum's shifted just slightly to Vineland, and if Millville can reestablish himself as with their running game, at least pick up a couple first downs, and that'll give them the confidence. And then we'll have a real barn burner for the rest of the game.
Well, my prediction early was 7-7 tie, so at least at this point, if it ends at half, it may be just that way, but I think we're going to see probably a little bit more scoring in this game. Milt Mars gets a boomer away this time, as Tony mentioned, taking it to 10, to 15, to 20, to 25. Troy Lee up across the 30. So they really about the same. He may have picked up a yard. No, in fact, it's going to be exactly where the ball went out. So they could have just taken it at the 30 before. So first down, 10 yards to go for the Millville Thunderbolts. They have the ball just shy of their own 30-yard line. We've got a 7-7 tie with under 1 minute, 59 seconds exactly remaining in the first half of action. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Gantt Ferguson Insurance and Real Estate, 511 Buck Street in Millville, by Tabs Auto Body Supplies and Accessories, 2116 North Delsey Drive in Millville. There's the handoff, and it's Cephas, I guess it was, 21. And Millville takes the timeout. With a timeout on the field, we tell you that Millville High School football is also being brought to you by Television Video Productions for weddings, for bat mitzvahs, for bar mitzvahs, for any event you would like to have videotape. Call Paul Kell at Television 327-3958. And of course, Vineland High School football on Channel 2 is being brought to you in part by Executive Business Products, where they have the best prices around at 219 Landis Avenue in Vineland. Of course, don't forget the 3% sales tax for merchandise picked up in their store. And also being brought to you today, Millville and Vineland football by Hiles Appliance. Jerry, Pat, Matt, and all the staff, and Jerry Jr. at Hiles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland, and by Bob's Auto Supply, 1289 South Delsey Drive, Vineland. Arco Fuel Oil Company, 520 Chestnut Avenue in Vineland. Carl Gerstein and the staff wishing all of you a happy Thanksgiving. And of course, the Millville and Vineland football throughout the entire season has been brought to you by the Cumberland County Democratic Committee. On behalf of my running mate, Phil Biondi, and yours truly, Jim Quinn, we'd like to extend our sincerest thanks to all the voters of the Vineland-Millville area for their tremendous support they gave Bill and I on November the 8th at the polls to re-elect us as freeholders for Cumberland County. Wishbone formation. Smith calling the signals. And there's another fumble. It was Selby.
And Vineland's got it.
Number 94 or 84 must be.
Things go bad, they go bad, huh? I mean, it's just,
yep.
You can't do those kind of things against a good football team.
The football at the Millville 35-yard line, wishbone formation. behind quarterback Chris Viso with 32 seconds remaining. Chris is calling the signals. Chris pitches the ball back, and Hart's going to throw the halfback pass. It's up in the air, and it's caught. Great reception made by number 84, Joe Crescenzi, down at the 15-yard line. And Tony, you talked about that pass earlier.
The guy made that play, it was Crescenzi. Crescenzi did a great athletic move coming back. That's a good play by a high school kid.
There's Chris Viso looking, throwing it, I think intentionally, maybe overthrowing everybody as he saw. There's good coverage on the play. 16 seconds remaining. Now Greg Loftus could come in soon for Vineland if maybe after another pass or so. He's a good field goal kicker, and I believe he has the win to his back. The ball's at the 15, and from there, let's see, the 32-yard attempt at that point. Greg is warming up. I had the pleasure of meeting Greg Loftus at an event up at the Moose Hall recently. Nice young man. Ball at the 15, second down and 10. Crescenzi goes wide to the left of your screen. To the right of the screen is Haydak. Wishbone formation behind quarterback Chris Viso. Chris is back. He's standing. He's throwing it into the end zone, and he overthrows him again out of the end zone, and it'll bring up a third down and 10 with 12 seconds remaining till halftime before this jam-packed crowd here at Gatone Stadium. As you see the insert of the clock, and here comes Greg Loftus in to attempt the field goal. It will be a 32-yard attempt, I believe, if they snap it back 7 as they normally do.
You have plenty of time to run another play.
Yeah, maybe it's not a field goal then.
That could be too.
Maybe it's already got to pull an eagle play, right?
Yeah,
Third
that's
down.
right. Page out of Buddy Ryan.
That's it. Ernie Bernhardt will do the holding. Greg Loftus will attempt the 32-yard field goal. There's the kick. The kick is up, but it's a little short. And I don't know if it was tipped or not, but it is short. So the field goal attempt fails with 7 seconds remaining. Millville will take over on offense and probably just run out the clock with their field position being what it is. So it's been an interesting and very good first half. Both teams coughing up the ball on occasions, and each team taking advantage of that fumble. So with 7 seconds to go till halftime, the score is tied at 7-7. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Park Avenue and Delsey Drive in Vineland. Millville High School football being brought to you by Ushler's Body Shop, 2116 North Delsey Drive, Millville. Wishbone formation. Yeah, good point, Tony. 7-7 tie here at halftime. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by United Jersey Bank, Dr. Jim Beebe's Millville Chiropractic Center, Daily Seat, Southwest Drive, Elizabeth and Waltman Agency, Ushler's Body Shop, Hiles Appliance, Finch's Lawn Care and Landscape, Victor's Market, Byron Beach, Fort Norris, Camp Ferguson Insurance, Buck Street, Millville, Taps Auto, Body Supply and Accessories. Vineland High Football, Jiffy Lube, Minnesota National Executive Business Products, Hiles Appliance, Burco Oil, Bob's Auto Supply, and Dr. Mike Harvey's Vineland Chiropractic Center. There's Hicks with the kickoff, and he comes up to the 31-yard line, and had he gotten by that Millville defender, he might have been able to take it coast to coast. The man who tackled for Millville was Bryce Hogan, rather.
Ron Shea would have had to make the tackle. He was being kicked as he ran that. I look for him to be a Hart to break loose.
Isn't that Kevin Holmes from 82? Made that tackle.
Could have been. I thought
it was a great hit. Good return, but then Holmes not made that play. Hicks would have taken that all the way back for a touchdown.
You got Scott Shea, Ron's son.
Yeah,
right?
Ron's son.
We're going to say if Ron's out there making tackles, we're having our 25th class reunion, Ron and I, this weekend. I don't know. You got a wishbone formation behind Chris Viso. Chris hands the ball off. Going hard across the 44-yard line is Kevin Hart.
Millville coming in, Vineland much more authority this half. Offensive line getting all very well on that play. Hart, very good off the ball.
Oh, they picked up 15 yards on that one play when he had 18 the whole first half.
Good run by Kevin Hart. Hart picks and the running backs. Crescenzi, the wide out. They're looking to Crescenzi. They throw it incomplete behind Joe, and coverage on the play provided there by Brian Barber. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go for the Fighting Plan. They have the ball at their own 45-yard line. We're just underway. Second half of action from Gatone Stadium with a 7-7 tie.
Well, that's something different right there. A pass that quick in the game.
Yeah, first down, and they ran a little out pattern, quick out pattern, trying to get into the wide out, rely on his ability to catch the football and run with it.
Coming wide is Brad Bernardini, slotted to the same side. Millville's Dion Henry looking to run in there on the blitz, but Viso gets away from a couple of players, gets up close to midfield before Troy Lee gets him, although Tony's right, his knee touched back at the 47.
Millville again, said that time when he picked it up, Henry coming in, forcing the quarterback a little bit wider, on his rollout. Henry, they didn't know he didn't make the tackle,
Production crew for today, director and producer is Paul Kell, television, and our cameraman Charlie Hope, with the camera you're watching now, on the down camera is Otley Ewings and Kevin Mason. Back to pass, Chris Viso, screen pass comes out here to Hart, and he's dropped at the 45-yard line. Kevin Hart, good play on the part of Brian Barber.
You won't see a better football play than what Demora just made on that play. He's a linebacker. They ran a screen, faked the play to the right, came back to the screen to the left side of the field. Demora read it all the way, came from a far linebacker position, went through two blockers to make the play.
Tremendous football player, 4-year varsity player for Millville. Played as a freshman. There's the kick by Haydock. It's a good one. Fumbled by Millville, covered by Cephas at the 11. So Millville, with the backs to the goal line at the 11-yard line, will take over 1st and 10.
I think Haydock's been the most valuable player in this game.
Absolutely.
You know, the crazy part about it is, like, they picked from the yard line. Actually kicked the ball from the 30-yard line, and they kicked it at 10.
Yeah.
But when you go to measure it, you know, you have to measure from
Yeah,
line
it's
of
true.
scrimmage. But that was a heck of a move.
Yeah. The impressive thing is you don't get any returns. You know, they haven't been able to get any kind of return, and he created the one fumble and three deep punts.
So it's 1st and 10, Millville at their own 11-yard line with a wishbone formation. Wayne Smith calling the signals. Smith hands it off, first man going through Cephas. He doesn't go far at all, maybe a yard or two on that carry. John Perez, 54, Lapsley, 64, gets off the bottom of the pile. And I saw Lapsley's father, Dick, at halftime. Fine baseball umpire.
Same thing's happened to Millville in the last couple of possessions that happened to Vineland early in the game. They're stuck deep in their own territory. They run the option offense. It really limits what you can do with that kind of offense when you're deep in your own territory.
Good point, Hank, with the wishbone. Smith calling the signals. Handing it off, but coming across the 15 up to the 16-yard line was the ball carrier, Cephas.
Now, you're not going to make too many yards, not even over the middle, and try to get first downs out of that. Not unless you want the 1 yard short of a first down.
Third and about 4, the ball at the 17. Millville going to have to, I would maybe think Smith might roll out on the end.
Yeah, well, the big play for him in this situation has been the misdirection. You know, you're thinking in one play and then either running the trap or the counter and back to the other side.
He has to do that now.
Okay, the wishbone, Smith calling signals, everybody in tight. Dion Henry and Demore at the tight ends. And you're right, Hank. But nothing. Vineland knew he was coming, and they dropped Selby immediately. Good defensive play in there by 84, Joe Crescenzi, and it'll bring up a 4th down running situation for Wayne Smith.
Vineland's going to stay home a little more this time. They're ready for that play and not pursuing it. They did in the first half, and that's smart football.
Smith standing about his own 3-yard line. Ed Lambert will do the snapping for the Thunderbolts.
He needs a good kicker. Vineland's going to be in Millville territory.
Good point. And he gets away a decent kick, but Vineland should be in Millville territory. Hart takes it at the 45 up to midfield into Millville territory. Down the sideline, got some blocking. Finally driven out of bounds, or stopped anyway. Right around the 25-yard line. Dwayne Smith, the man to stop him. So good ball set up, and Hart running the ball very well.
I saw him run back. Side, but he knew what he was doing.
Sure did.
Well, they had to return. It was definitely return. He had a wall of blockers over to the short side of the field. He's executed very well. A couple of blocks. I think it was a Hicks. Hart getting a good run. Finally, a different football team this year.
Sure are. Looking good. 1st and 10 for the Fighting Plant at the Millville 24-yard line. Chris Viso, the quarterback, with wishbone formation. Crescenzi to the bottom of the screen. Top of the screen is Bernardini. Pass out for Crescenzi, incomplete.
That's the second time they run that out pattern to that to the one wide out there. And don't quite understand it, but they must have seen something out here in the first half.
That's a third pass this quarter, too, which is unusual for a Vineland team. I still think he throws better on the run.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
It seems that because when he has to get set and he has these arms, of course he's throwing short passes, so it's not so bad, but he doesn't have to get too set.
Second down and 10 rather. Now the ball at the 24-yard line. Chris Viso calling signals, hands the ball up to John Buckaloo. Buckaloo stood up at the line, maybe got a yard. He did definitely get 1 yard. Dion Henry is one of the tacklers for Millville, and the other tackler was Bill Musey, number 79.
So I think Frank got that back.
Number 79, Bill Musey, number 46, Dion Henry.
Carry by Buckaloo. I think you'll see a little bit more of Buckaloo, and Hart for that matter. Hart has only carried 7 times. Of course, Vineland hasn't had the ball that much either.
That's right. Third down and about 8. Chris Viso calling the signals. Hands the ball off to Hicks. Hicks got some running room off the far side there. Comes down to around the 20-yard line before he's driven out of bounds by Gene DeMort and Brian Barber. Did not make it out of bounds. The clock will keep running. Fourth down now, and about 6 yards to go for a first down. What are you doing at 4th and 6 here?
Brings up 4th and about 6.
Go ahead. You have the wide side of the field. They ran to the one play for a touchdown down wide side of the field on a rollout. Jim, I think I go back to that play. Put a wide slot out to the right side of the field and roll it out and try to get it to one of those out.
I think they better hurry too because the time might be running out.
They are running the slot out there. Let's see if they go out that way.
Haydack and Mark are out there. Viso has trouble with the football. Gets it back though and may have enough for a first down. A busted play. DeMore stopped him, but he got the ball back and
great defense by Millville to bust up that option. It's an option play. The left side of that line came down and stopped the play, prevented the pitch, forced the quarterback up inside, caused the fumble. They did everything.
Just inside the 15-yard line.
The ball bounced back in the quarterback's arms and they could pick up the first down.
they're going to measure still, but it's going to be inches one way or another.
Another one of those inch jobs.
Yeah, game of inches, isn't it? Here's an example of it. Looks like he's short. He is short by inches. So Millville takes over, and again, a big play that could come back in this football game and make a difference later on.
Yeah, remember Millville got the inch. They needed.
Yeah,
and,
Vineland
they
didn't
took it
in this
down
case.
and scored, and Vineland didn't.
The 1st and 10 for the Thunderbolts. They'll take over just shy of their own 15. They've had the same field position this half. The Vineland had the first half.
Yeah,
It's
that's
4.
they were just about there where they had a kick.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. So field position means a lot as you try to move the football, especially when you have the type of offenses both these teams have. They're grinded out, run it type offense. Smith calling the signals at 1st and 10 for the 14. He hands it off, going a couple yards to Stubbs. He picks up maybe 2 at the most. 54, John Perez there to stop him.
Right now, Jim, I think Millville, it's a dangerous play, and I know Millville tends to be conservative offensively. That's why they play good, sound, fundamental football.
Second down,
A
8.
little seam pass to that tight end right now, I think would be a good call for Millville. Gene DeMore out.
With the wishbone in the backfield. 2nd and 8. There's the counter. And Selby doesn't go anywhere. Actually, maybe lost a yard or so. Great defense by the Vineland clan.
Yeah, Vineland's made adjustments defensively to stop that counter play. I think Millville's going to have a difficult time, at least deep in their own territory.
Started for no gain out there by Bernhardt
Perez
and
and
Castellini.
David Rabbit, 54 and 61 on the bottom of that play. You know, I can see Millville lulling you to sleep, though. They haven't been throwing the ball. They've only thrown 1 pass so far. And one of these, can uncork one.
3rd and 8 with a wishbone. Smith looking, keeps it himself, but nowhere near enough as he's dropped before he even makes it back to the 20-yard line. It was Joe Crescenzi, 84, first man down there. Also helping out was number 61 for Vineland, Dave Rabbits, who's had an excellent football game. So it's going to bring up a punting situation for Smith as he'll stand back around his own 6-yard line.
Then we can't forget, though, both teams have a lot of confidence in their defensive ability to stop any offense.
True, Hank, and it's been a defensive battle here so far in the second half. Smith gets away a low line drive kick and takes a bounce, and it's picked up by Brad Bernardini. He's got some running room. It's finally dropped in Millville territory at the 43-yard line. It was Vince Selby, who brought him down. So Again, Vineland with good field position takes over 1st and 10 at the Millville 43. Vineland High School football on Channel 2 being brought to you by Dr. Mike Harvey's Vineland Chiropractic Center, 78 Park Avenue in Vineland, soon to be in Elmer, Buna, Bridgeton, and Franklinville. Will be opening very, very shortly at 6 South Delsey Drive in Franklinville. And Millville High School football being brought to you by Dr. Jim Beebe's Millville Chiropractic Center, 1014 North High Street in the Holly City. There goes Hart round the side. He's got some running room, and he's finally drugged out of bounds. The man to bring him out of bounds for Millville is Billy Cannon, but a first down, good first down effort by Hart.
That was a sweep, just that famous Vineland sweep, going to the right that time. And Hart saw that it was clogged up in the middle off tackle, and he just made that quick cut to the outside and beat the Millville defense to the corner and cut it up to the first.
He's lost 3 or 4 touchdowns. Well, he lost one against Maine, and he was way ahead of everybody because of the penalty was called. But he can really fly.
Wishbone formation. Chris Viso, the quarterback, calling the signals. 1st and 10. Hands it off to John Buckaloo. Buckaloo runs forward off the right side, picks up maybe 3 yards on the play, down to about the 26-yard line. Gene DeMore and also Deion Henry along with Bill Corbett there to make the stop for Millville. So 2nd down, give them a gain of 3, 2nd and 7 for the Vikings. Plan they have it at the Millville 26.
Now we have the wide side of the field to this side, to the left side of the field, and maybe you'll see them come to that sweep.
They have a
Same
left
kind of
side
sweep.
tendency.
To have that sweep to Hart or Hicks coming around to this left side.
Brad Bernardini here to the bottom of your screen with a wishbone formation. Chris Viso calling signals. Millville looking to blitz. There's the handoff going to Hart. Hart around the right side. Picks up about 4 on the play. Gets to the 22-yard line. Stays in bound. Clock will continue to run. Looks like, is that 3 or is that an 8? Is it light burned out? Is it 8:04? I guess it would be an 8, right? 8:02 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. That was 2. It's 2 minutes, 57 seconds. That's what I
Well, a lot of running, a lot of running.
A lot of running and not many timeouts either.
That's right.
Except right near the end of the half.
Exactly. You have Haydack to the bottom of your screen there, to the left-hand side. Bottom left.
Bobble the ball.
Yep, but there's the handoff, and Hart has the first down. Hart inside the 20, very close anyway. It looks to me like a first down to about the 18-yard line.
Do we have a flag?
Nah, this is an orange.
He did, Viso bobbled the ball that time, and maybe that helped.
First down. Yeah, he has good success when he does that. Gets it back and runs well.
Vineland been going to the short side of the field away from the strength of Millville and been very successful the last several plays doing that.
Which side's the Mort on?
Well, I was watching and he was to the wide side that time.
Yeah, he is this time.
And, you try to stay away from him if you can. But they've been successful doing that on 3 plays. Let's see if they stay with that tendency. Yes, they do.
There's Hart once again, and he's drugged down maybe a yard gain or so on the play. It looked like Rick Wilton, 77. That was the man who got him over there for Millville. So it's going to bring up the 2nd down, and I'd say, it's 2nd and 8. Ball at the 18. Coming in is Haydack with the play for Vineland.
Maybe Vineland has some kind of reverse. They run off of that play.
No, they haven't. At least they haven't shown it.
2nd and a long 8. Haydack comes to the bottom of the screen. Here's Viso looking now. He pitches it back to Hart, and Hart is driven out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Pickup of maybe a yard or 2 on that play. Benevento and Rick Wilton over there, and also Deion Henry to drive him out of bounds. So it'll bring up a 3rd down situation for Vineland.
That Millville defense has been very tough against a team like we said it's averaged 30 points a game the last 4 games. You just can't leave your defense on the field that long. Vineland is just too explosive a ball team to do that, Jim, and you can't let them inside your own territory consistently and expect them only to score 7 points.
Absolutely. 2 receivers, Hicks and Bernardini, come to the bottom of the screen. Back is Viso. He's looking. He's throwing it. It's up in the air, and it's incomplete. It was intended out here for Bernardini. Coverage on the play provided by Brian Barber on his own power. Chris Viso looking. He shoots it across the middle. Was it complete? No, incomplete. He was hit hard with Bernardini. Had he held on, it would have been a tremendous play. Bernardini really hit hard as he tried to go across the middle and pick it up and catch that ball, but as it is, it's an incomplete pass. Millville takes over. First down, 10 yards to go at their own 16-yard line, where they've been the entire third quarter when they have the ball.
I didn't say it was Selby or was it Henry?
Well, there were
It
two
was,
fellows.
Brian Barber was there,
Barber,
39.
yeah, sorry to tell, but I wouldn't even want to run that kind of pass, that little slant we have with Henry and Moore out there.
It's a tough one.
So Bizzo did a good job hanging in, or guys hanging on
Yeah,
in
he
to
did.
get rid of that ball.
First and 10, handoff going first man, Cephas. He gets up near the 20-yard line. It was Perez again, who's had a good game, and Lapsley, 64 and 54 for Vineland. Pickup of about 5 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
This is the play I'd like to see them go to Morat, Jim, on that little seam pass. But again, it's easy to call up here. When it's 7-7, you're in your own territory.
Tony, this program is very impressive. You do a nice job with it.
Thank
You're
you.
the Vineland Boosters Club.
Oh,
There's the
fumble. Vineland's got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Millville may have covered it. Millville did cover it. It was the.
Well, Vineland, I thought Vineland had that.
No, you're right. One official showed.
They said third down,
Third down.
so I thought he was saying that Millville had the ball. Yeah.
They still say Millville's got it.
I think he called third down that way, just pointed the wrong way. Hey, it's early. He hasn't had his coffee yet.
That's right.
He just pointed the wrong way. He knew what down it was.
That's true.
1 out of 2 isn't bad.
So we've got it third down and 12. The officials have done a good job. And
As a matter of fact, they've done an excellent.
I was going to say, I don't know about you guys, what you've seen, but all season long, we've seen very good officiating for the games that we've seen, throughout the season. So
Yeah, that's
no
in
exception.
fact the only one I saw on the tape of the Vineland game where they called a touchdown back, and they said that they gave Vineland the first down, but they said it was back in a clipping. And when you saw it on the tape, the official that's standing there didn't call it. The guy somewhere else called it.
I remember
and
hearing that on the
maybe
radio
angle,
too.
The angle might have been bad.
I remember Matt talking about that on the radio, the same play. Split backfield, Smith back looking, shooting it out in the flat to Cephas. He's got a blocker, flags down, probably holding. And he doesn't have a first down anyway. Super defensive play by Hart, who's back in. Kevin Hart. What a great defensive play by Kevin Hart.
We've seen some great defensive hitting, clean, good hitting, but there is a flag, and all indications were there would be against Millville.
Probably holding and trying to go to Smith.
Yeah. So I would imagine Vineland will decline. Millville will have to punt the balls out to 21. Yep, that's the call. Holding against Millville. It is declined as we expected. So it'll be 4th down, and Dwayne Smith will do the punting once again, as Millville's punted a lot in this third quarter. 34 seconds remaining. It's still tied 7-7. Vineland Millville football on your local cable television channel, Channel 4 Millville, being brought to you by United Jersey Bank, the Fast Moving Bank, and Bailey Seafood. And Vineland High School football being brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Park Avenue, Dulcie Drive, and Minnesota National Bank, serving Vineland for 75 years. There's the kick taken on the run by Kevin Hart. Hart is dropped at the 43-yard line. So one nice thing about this game played in our half of the field. We're down right across from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of those penalties. It was 4th down, I know. But I would have taken that penalty because of the way I think it's a psychological disadvantage when one of your kids have to come from the end zone. If they had to take a 5-yard penalty, that could have been 1 yard, half the yard defense. 5% of the time, high school kids have to advance. They just go up there.
Well, and he would have had to kick to get a tremendous punt, but it might have got into the 50. He's not certain.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your attention, please. Someone is purging a girl's wallet.
But the other thing, Jim, you neglected to mention is this time. That's the third time Smith has had to kick from the 6-yard line in this half.
Exact same
And
yard
this
line.
same yard line.
I knew they were right down that same area all the time.
And then the first half, Vineland was the one that stayed within the 20, and now it's Millville that's staying. Now they're staying within the 15. And
Well,
what
it's-
happened the last quarter?
It's
Look at
almost,
this
yeah, I was
quarter.
going to say, it's almost a mirror image. The first half was more Millville offensively, and then this game, of course, the third quarter has been basically all Vineland offense and Millville defense having to come to the occasion. So it has been a real interesting game, very much mirror of each other from the first half to the second half so far.
He's out down on the field.
I'm not sure, Hank. Dr. Jones and Dr. Sharp are down there with Don Shea. I know, that's what I'm saying. I was just telling you.
I know those 3 guys.
Do
I
you?
just can't see who the other one
Well, they don't have numbers. I just recognize them by their appearance. They don't have helmets on.
But the other thing too, Hank mentioned this before. How long is the Millville defense going to be able to stay on the field?
Well, a lot of the defense plays offense too. Like,
Yeah, that's right. That's the point too. You
takes
keep
away.
going both ways, and you're continually being pushed back until you give up 5 yards here and 5 yards there. Next thing you know, the other team in your end zone.
Yeah, you're right. Millville's playing with fire so far because
And I think they're playing with fire too. When you start kicking line drives at Hart, it wouldn't take much for Hart to break loose.
That's Jim Sperringer, number 66. Luckily, he's being helped off on his own. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Thomas Video Mania in the Riverview Shopping Center in Millville, and by Paul Kell of Television. For any videotaping you want done, the best quality around, call Paul Kell at 327-3958, 327-3958. Wishbone formation behind quarterback Viso, hands it off to Buccalo. Buccalo breaks the tackle, gets down to about the 36-yard line, pickup of about 8 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 2. Corbin made the stop for Millville.
He just pushes people out of his way.
He sure does.
One thing I wanted to mention, and I know everybody still talks about the 1955 game.
Vineland High School has the football, 3rd down and about 2 to go at their 35. Handoff Buccalo once again, and he's dropped. Maybe went forward enough for a first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short. Going to mark it right inside the Millville 35-yard line. So it'll be a good yard short of a first down. So it'll be 3rd down and a yard to go for a first down. John Buccalo running hard. Kevin Hart, of course, having a real good second half. Haven't heard too much from Hicks in this second half.
Hicks has only carried the ball one time.
Yeah. Hey, Dak.
So good, not a strong arm as we said, but a good heads-up player. Makes the reads, real good reads on that option.
He sure does. You see some of the Vineland cheerleaders there. Buccalo looks like he has the first down. Fell forward enough for it, I believe. And
body length is what he needed.
Exactly. That's exactly what he got.
I was reading Millville's scouting report. The coaching staff of Millville really think an awful lot of Buccalo. That he can do a lot of things. He can run the football, he can block. He can come in defensively and make the big play for you. Good, tough kid.
Coach Serace, not happy with the
of
spot, but I thought the spot was pretty accurate from here.
A couple of somebody really jumping him down over there, but a couple of Millville players said no, and then is that the Coach Serace with the blue jacket?
Yeah,
he was upset about that. His players said he didn't make it, but
I thought Buccalo made it from the time he was tackled. I really did, and he did.
That just makes it official now.
Yeah. Tony is upset. He better be careful or he'll get a flag on him too, which he doesn't need at this point. The ball's at the 34-yard line, and there you see Coach Tony Serace with his headset off across the way. He's hot. 1st and 10, Vineland High at the Millville 34-yard line, wishbone formation. Bernardini to the right side. There's the handoff into the secondary. Hart, good running. Down to the 26-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and about a yard or 2 to go for a first down. Dion Henry and Frank Benevento over there to stop him.
The Vineland offensive line came out much stronger this half. The first half they were kind of lethargic, a little slow getting off the ball, not making the crisp blocks or sustaining those blocks. The reverse has been true in this half. They've been very good offensively, getting off the ball and enabling the runners to pick up that yard.
That offensive line for Vineland, John Hersey at center replacing Matt Howe. Joe, and he comes close to the first down. I think he's down to the 25-yard line. He's going to be about half a yard short of a first down.
It's a war out there now. It's a real battle. Hicks making a good cut to the outside, but Demorat, shedding the blocker and getting outside to stop him just short of the first down.
So it's 3rd and less than a yard, about half a yard to go for a first down. The ball at the 25. The Millville defense has been out on the field about 80% of this second half for sure, and the Vineland offense, of course, doing well. 3rd down, less than a yard to go for a first down. Chris Viso calling the signals. He gives it to Buccalo, who has the first down. Once again, similar to the way he got the last time, body length forward. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Vineland High School down at the Millville 24-yard line. See who gets off the bottom of that pile for Millville's 42, Vince Selby.
This is the way this game ought to be played, though. These two teams are really battling each other out there.
They sure are.
It's the kind of game you like to see. You like to see a rout either way, or like that nothing tie. Even if this game ends in a tie, this is a well-played game.
Exactly.
So, I'd like to see Smith throw one now and then.
Viso, you mean, or Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Okay. Wishbone form. Yeah, you're right. Wishbone formation. There's the handoff to Hart. He's down to the 20-yard line. Pick up of about 4 on the play.
Well, he explodes quick though through that hole.
Corbett made the stop. He was the first guy to grab him around the ankles. He does, Tony. You're absolutely
A
right.
lot quicker than Keith Byers does.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's for sure.
Now here's a team that has, between the two teams, they have 4 guys that rushed for over 500 yards and scored an awful lot of touchdowns, an awful lot of points, and here it is 7-7. So again, a real tribute to both defenses.
Yep, absolutely. Second down and 6. There's the pitch to Hart. Hart running wide, got some blocking going around the right side, cuts out of bounds finally, knocked out by Billy Cannon, but he has more than a first down towards the Millville 12-yard line. It's down
Did you
around
see
the
the
12.
block that Billy Hicks put on to lead the blocking?
That was that sweep, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that right side, that sweep, that's only the second time they've run that. Both times they run it for real big yardage. I think I'd run that play a few more times.
All the years you watch these football games, you often sit there and you wonder, you've got that real wide side, and then, well, let's go to the near side where the other team also has a 12th man, the sideline.
Yeah.
And yet the coaching philosophy always is, let's go that way.
Smith in for Millville, replacing Troy Lee. Dwayne Smith, the quarterback, in the defensive back. And there's a bad pitch by Viso, and he drops it once again. It's loose again. And I believe Millville's finally gotten it. What an unfortunate break for Chris Viso and the Vineland Fighting Clan, but a big break for the Millville Thunderbolts as they'll take over 1st and 10 right around the 34-yard line. Let's see, I haven't seen where they spot the football. Or maybe they say I guess it is. 31-yard line is where the ball is. 1st and 10 for Millville. Millville High School football on Channel 4 being brought to you by Bailey Seafood, South Delsey Drive, Port Elizabeth. George and Alan Waltman of the Waltman Agency, 8 West Vine Street in Millville. And Jerry Ushler at Ushler's Body Shop, 2116 North Delsey Drive in Millville. Vineland High School football being brought to you by Executive Business Products, 219 Landis Avenue, Vineland. Isles Appliance, 3435 South Delsey Drive in Vineland. And Lurco Oil Company for 24-hour service. Call 696-8888. Smith puts it on his hip.
Tight end, there it is. There's the play.
Yep, for DeMore, but it's
too late.
Incomplete.
Got to throw that play a little quicker, Jim. I wouldn't even throw a play-action pass. Did you notice how he was open in the seam? You could see him running down the field.
Yeah.
And wide open in that seam. Just look up, throw that ball right in that seam, and it's there.
But I'll tell you what, great coverage by Jamie Lapsley, and a lot of guys for Vineland were on him, too.
That's got to pick up Millville. I mean, Vineland was moving. They were on the 10-yard line. And
absolutely.
Then that pitch, in fact, the Holy Spirit game, 2 pitches like that went astray.
Real quick, Tony, I've been watching Kevin Hart the last several plays. He's fine once he gets up, but he seems to be protecting the ribs every time he goes down. I suspect a rib injury. The legs appear to be fine.
It's a good point, Mike. From Dr. Mike, see, that's why we have our doctor in the booth here. Split backfield, Smith calling the signals. Hands it off, going absolutely nowhere with the ball was Cephas, and he stopped right at the line. So
I guess the fight game has Pacheco, and we have
that's
our
right.
doctor.
That's right.
That
The
was
football doctor.
That's
We
right.
had the fight doctor, and now here's the football doctor.
That was number 63, Marandino. And Marandino or Willie Hart was 43 or 60. 43 made the tackle on that play.
Willie Hart's.
Willie Hart plays both ways, too. He can. He come in and played
He played
backfield.
spelled it.
Yeah, but he has a couple games where he's done some running. He scored a touchdown, in fact.
3rd and 9 for Millville at their own 31-yard line. Split backfield, receivers to the top of the screen. Smith hands it off on a counter play to Selby. Selby has some running room and may have a first down as he made some good second effort. Got up to the 43-yard line, and he does have a first down before he was finally brought down there by number 34 for Vineland, Dean Castellini.
Boy, a nice play by Selby, Jim, but also what a great block by DeMore at downfield to spring him for that first down.
Tell you what, guys, this game is moving
Very
along quickly, isn't it? 7:28 remaining in the game, and it's 7-7 tie.
How's Shea on field goals?
Good. He's a good field goal kicker. He and Loftus are very comparable. Shea has had a good success this year. He's kicked some field goals, kicked a lot of extra points.
Time for a Millville fumble.
There's a flag and maybe a delay of game
Yeah,
against Millville.
they've been sort of exchanging fumbles, too, And then,
It is delay of game, so that's going to hurt them. 5-yard penalty, move them back, make it 1st and 15.
That's only the second penalty against Millville. The other was that penalty that was not taken by Vineland.
The holding
and
one
the
there.
holding penalty, and that's only the second penalty on Vineland.
Both
And,
teams have
Millville.
played a really good game.
Well, Vineland had 4, but they were all illegal procedure.
Right.
And with the new center, that probably was the cause of it. So a clean ball game.
It has been, exceptionally. 1st and 15, the ball at the 36. Smith rolling to the right side. He's looking. He's going to turn it upfield and try to run with it. He gets up across the 40 to 41. He was finally hit there by Dean Castellini. So he didn't quite get back to the original line of scrimmage. In fact, see if they mark it. They're going to mark it at the 32. So he had to go to 34 to get back to the original line. Pick up a 3 on the play.
John Hersey must have hurt his arm. He's coming there with his left arm. He's sort of hanging there.
That's not good either. It's the backup
Arm or
center,
shoulder.
right? It's like his left shoulder.
Oh, yeah, the team only has so many centers.
Yeah, that's an important position too. Coming out here for Millville, Iango, Valier, and Holmes to the bottom of your screen, the right corner. The counter goes to Cephas. He goes across the 45 to the 46-yard line, pickup of about 3 on the play, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8. Lapsley there to make the stop for Vineland High School.
Okay, big play now for Millville. Millville a little better field position now. You know, we talk about this as a game where there have been a few turnovers and big breaks for both teams. But, you know, again, you have to credit those turnovers to the defense. It's just been such hard hitting out there, and, you know, you kind of create your own breaks. Both teams have done that.
Both defensive
Check with the
squads have been
Eagles.
outstanding. Yeah, you're right. Okay, 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for a 1st down. Smith calling the signals at the 46. Counter hands it off. Looks like to Cephas again. Not going far enough for a 1st down, so punting situation for Millville. Cephas gets it up to the 49-yard line.
He ought to feel. Smith ought to feel a little better kicking
Yeah.
from the 40 rather than the 6.
Yeah, you're right. Going to kick from,
You know,
well, he'll stand
Well,
around
he'll
his
stand
own
back,
35,
yeah,
but
but,
you're right, Tony. A lot better than being with your back to the end zone. Hart and the Bernardini, the deep people. Good snap. Smith gets a decent kick. It's a high one. It's going to take a Millville bounce, and Hart picks it up. Hart at the 20. 20
Ooh.
still on his feet down the sidelines. Hart running and is dropped out of bounds finally by Barry Cephas as he runs him into the Vineland bench at about the 40. Let's see where they mark it. Around the 40-yard line, I believe, is where he was driven out of bounds.
Well, that was a great play that time, Jim, on the return for Vineland. Very poor tackling by Millville. Instead of Vineland now with the ball in their own 15-yard line, you know, they're out to almost the 40, and that's a big difference.
I mean, that's an adventure. I mean, Hart's catching the ball,
Yeah.
bounce, and there's a tackler right there.
You bet.
And,
Gutsy play by Hart, I'll say that.
When he gets the ball, something can always happen with him.
The 1st and 10, they mark it back to the 38-yard line. A wishbone behind quarterback Viso, hands it off to Buccalo, whose feet are knocked out from under him immediately by Selby, 42.
He's having the game of his
He
life.
is, isn't he?
Jim.
Vince
Selby,
Selby playing
great football
exceptional.
game.
A lot of good seniors on these teams. Selby and Cephas and Demore, people like that for Millville, and of course Haydack and Viso and Hicks and Hart.
And this game has been great for you guys, all the extra here. But I'm right from, you know, the post.
Yeah, well,
So, you know what I
Move
mean?
one side or the other.
Well, I'm
Hank.
not that smart.
That's right. He played football. That's okay.
There's the pitch to Hart. Hart coming around the side there, and he's dropped at about the 43-yard line.
You notice how he picks his way, though.
He
He
does.
gets that ball. But again, Hank, like we were talking about, why this side all the time?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think, you know, they're going away from the strength of the Millville
This
defense.
is Lawn Care, Dale Finch, and Wayne Birmingham at Newton's Market, and Link Armington Jr. and Sr. at Gann Ferguson Insurance. Thank you all for your sponsorship. There's the pass, and it is complete. Driven out of bounds was Joe Crescenzi, but he's got enough for a 1st down into Millville territory.
That's that out pattern. They weren't they're successful for the first time. They run that 4 times. That's the 4th time they've run it. Just trying to get into the wide out, you know, a 3-yard out pattern, and picked up a big 1st down.
Clock becoming a factor, folks. 3:54 remaining in the game, and I absolutely did say I predicted a 7-7 tie earlier before we went on the air, but
I'll
I
vouch
hope
for
I'm
that.
wrong with that. I'd like to see one of the teams win. Yeah, Tony, you did hear me say
I
that.
heard you say that, James.
All right, so we have a split backfield. There is the handoff to Buccalo. He's running well. 2nd effort gets him down inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line before Deion Henry puts him down. It's a gain of about 6 on the play, 2nd and 4.
But his legs keep moving.
That time
do.
Millville blitzing with the linebacker, sending Demorad on the wide side. They came back to the short side, picked up a good yardage.
Wide out as Bob Haydack goes to the left-hand corner of your screen. Everybody else inside with a wishbone formation. Viso calling the signals to Hart. Hart has some blockers, and he's knocked down at about the 41-yard line. Troy Lee tried to get a hand on him, but Gene DeMore had to come up and put him away. So it'll be 3rd down now and about 2 yards to go. The ball just at the Millville 41-yard line.
That was a power sweep, a big play, another big play for Vineland, but Troy Lee didn't make the tackle. Jim, what he did is be able to come through the interference and force the back to run the pattern for his route a little wider. That's what enabled Demorat to catch up to the play and make the tackle.
Brad Bernardini splits wide to the far side. They get Crescenzi to the right side. They pitch it for Crescenzi, incomplete. Intended out there for Joe Crescenzi. Coverage on the play provided by Troy Lee. So it brings up a 4th down. And what do you do here? 4th down, 2 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. You might as well, right?
Go
At this point, yeah.
Well, you see that all they're doing now with Crescenzi is running them out. Like they go out and take 2 steps and cut to the line, and that's all he's doing. With the pass a little bit high. Like when he stretched, I think he hurt his arm a little bit. He was holding his elbow.
They're going to punt, or at least they got Haydak back there to punt formation.
Of course, the punt's been a big play for
That's
Vineland.
true, too. You're right. That's been their best offensive weapon. And right there, you see him standing at the left side of your screen, Bob Haydak. It's a good snap.
Yeah,
And he's going to make and he throws it. It's incomplete. That's okay. Millville takes over, but at least it was an exciting play, and I credit to the Vineland coaching staff to try the Buddy Ryan type of attack on that, which is exciting.
It didn't fool anybody. On that situation, Jim, at 7-7, 2 minutes, left in the game, you have your prevent people in there. You're looking for that play. You're not going to fool anybody. So why don't you just get under center and where you're used to running the play from and run it from there?
Who's he throwing to?
I don't know. But I admire him going for the first, which I would have done too. But in that situation, I don't think you're going to fool anybody.
Well, you got the surprise element. I mean, obviously you may be right, but maybe it was a shot that didn't work out. But Millville takes over 1st and 10 at their own 41. Smith looking across the middle for the one that Hank's been talking about, the Demorat, but he couldn't hang on. But good coverage to that to Dean Castellini, who's played an excellent game in that secondary for Vineland High today.
That plays there, Jim. That's just a seam pattern to the to Demorat, and go for it.
Demorat started to go off. Matt Cook came in, but Demorat's going back into the game for Millville. 2 minutes, 32 seconds left in these seniors' playing careers for their respective high schools, Vineland and Millville. Iango Bowyer wide out. Bowyer. Holmes has the pitch. Holmes coming around. Holmes running with the ball in his tackle. Good defensive play by Ernie Bernhardt, who has played exceptionally well for Vineland in that secondary today as well. So pick up a couple on the
Bernhardt, he's that second time, where they run a kind of a misdirection or reverse.
3rd down and about 8. Smith calling the signals. He hands it off to Selby, and he has a 1st down. Selby, he lost the ball, but I think they said the whistle blew. So it'll be, if it stays, it'll be a 1st down for Millville as Selby gets it down to the Vineland 47-yard line. And the referee say, the whistle had blown, so it'll be 1st and 10 Millville at the Vineland 47-yard line.
Okay, what a great play. Great effort by Selby. He's having just a super game. This is by far and away is the best game. They'll give him the game ball today.
Hey, Hank,
whether they win, lose, or draw.
Here any place?
Pardon me?
You see Blade Phillips here?
Well, Jim, you have to humor him. He's getting old. Graduated from high school 25 years ago.
Back is Smith. Smith looking, and Smith goes to throw it. The ball is loose. And
his arm went forward now.
I thought it was a forward.
Fumble. Vineland gets the ball. I think that was a mistake on the part of the official. He was moving his arm forward, but good break for Vineland High School as John Perez, I think, came up with that football. So it'll be 1st and 10 Vineland with 1:38 remaining. So now Millville's defense has to come and try to hang on, as Vineland's defense was trying to do there.
That was a questionable.
Yeah, his arm.
It looked like it was hard to see, but in my judgment, he certainly was throwing the ball, and his arm looked to be going forward. But
either that or when he got hit, that propelled his arm forward. But whatever.
It did.
The referee.
Either way,
Tony's not hollering, so.
Well, you have to concentrate on the game right now. Can't afford to get a
just
penalty.
shy of midfield, Vineland with a football, and there's movement.
Yeah, moving the backfield.
Buccalo jumped too soon. He he started going and he moved too soon.
What was he calling a timeout for? It was a penalty. Don't use a timeout.
It's a penalty against Vineland.
Yeah, 5-yard penalty.
Vineland?
Yeah, it's against Vineland. 5-yard penalty, illegal procedure, backfield in motion against Vineland. So it'll bring the ball back to the 45 of Vineland High School. And we only have 1:19 remaining in the football game here on your local cable television channel. Channel 2 Vineland, Channel 4 Millville, Salmon's Cable Television. And next year, the game may all be shown at the same time on the same station because the Vineland Millville cable system stations are to be joined within about a year or so. We'll have one big Channel 2 Vineland Millville. So that should be good for all of us. Wishbone in the backfield. There is the handoff going to Hart off the left. Some of the crowd. There's that's the Gary Miles right there, the newspaper reporter. Did a nice article.
That's Beecham.
Yeah, I know that, but
Coach.
behind him.
Behind him.
Yes, Gary right there, the great coach.
Hart's down there practicing field goals if they can get down close enough.
Okay.
He
other
has a
thing-
25-yarder to his credit this year.
Yeah.
Is that the only? Is that the only
That's
one?
the only one he kicked.
Who, Loftus?
Yeah. But down here, right in front of us, you're hearing, throw the ball, John, throw the ball, John.
Yeah.
They're the old diehards.
Well, it was second down in 12, I guess, and 58 seconds
There's
to
that
go.
2-on-1 situation out here.
All right, Hank, we'll see. They're throwing it. It is complete, and Haydack is dropped immediately by Troy Lee as he caught the ball for about a 7-yard gain. It's going to be third down now and about 5, the ball at the Millville 45-yard line. Split backfield.
Hurry up offense.
Viso back looking, throwing it. Again, I believe it's complete, but did he stay in bounds or did he stop the clock? I think he rolled out of bounds as it was complete to Haydack. So first down for Vineland. They moved the ball down to the 36-yard line. And again, Vineland takes another timeout. That's got to be the last timeout of the half or of the game for Vineland, isn't it, Tony?
I don't have
31 seconds to go. We'll keep it here. And Vineland needs to move down probably another 20 yards or so before Greg Loftus would have a chance to, I guess,
Right,
go for that
yeah.
field goal attempt. But they've been passing it well, rolling to that right side each time. Doc?
We need Buddy and the Randells.
That's right. Where's Randall Cunningham, right?
No,
Bring him in.
we
The
don't
Rocket
need Tony
Man.
Franklin, that's for sure.
No, wasn't he terrible the other
No,
day
they
for
dropped
Miami?
him.
I
He
know.
got 7 out of 10.
They
He got
cut
cut.
him.
Yeah,
Cut him the
bet.
other day.
Well, I'll
He's
tell you
not
what,
the only one that drops kickers.
if the Eagles had had Zendejas at the beginning of the season, they could be in really even better shape than they are right
Maybe
now.
only 2 or 3 losses.
Exactly.
He's
been
people
impressive.
complain about how lucky the Eagles are. My only comment is if that was a Super Bowl on Sunday, guess who the champs would
Yeah,
be?
that's,
Well, I don't care how you win it. It's what they put the W after your name.
That's
and
true.
it's this game, too.
Yep.
And Tony, everybody talks about the lucky touchdown, but what about Cunningham Becker? Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Very difficult to speak when it's below 30 minutes. Cunningham's effort, getting that ball down to the 11-yard line with a great run to set up the winning touchdown. You've got to be in a position to win.
That's true.
And that's what
Okay.
Vineland's trying to do right now.
Exactly. Vineland with the ball at the 36-yard line. 31 seconds to go at the Millville 36 wishbone formation. Chris Viso calling the signals. Viso back, and he's hit as he tries to throw it. He hung on to the ball. Give Chris a lot of credit there as he was able to hang on to that ball with 3 Millville men. Corbin, the first man, was Benevento, who hit him on top of him. So it's
And also, Georges, was that
Teddy
it?
Georges, 72.
Georges in there. Both
Yeah.
guys got great defense. Great defensive effort by Millville. Boy, what a defensive struggle this has been.
Well, you know, again, we stand up here and we talk about this, but sure to anticipate that they're going to go back and pass, so you ought to anticipate that there's going to be a blitz coming in, and it's of course, and the defense is standing. They want to stop. The offensive line wants to stop the defense before they blow right by it too.
Yeah, they were down linemen that got in there that time. But,
They're
both
good.
defenses just so dominating. You know, I mean, just that it's been very difficult for either offense to move the ball consistently.
Well, Dr. Harvey mentioned that the best defense against Vineland he's seen, and having seen the Holy Spirit game and watching Holy Spirit play Millville and the defense that Holy Spirit put on Millville, and Vineland went through the Holy Spirit defense. They're having a lot of difficulty with Millville.
Millville defense playing exceptional, as did Vineland. It's been a really evenly matched game. Third down and about 18. Chris Viso calling the signals. Chris looking, he pitches it back to Hart. Hart's going to throw it, and he's throwing it up long, and the pass is knocked down. Good defensive play by Dwayne Smith, the quarterback from Millville. Intended receiver was Joe Crescenzi, and Smith just got over his shoulder, batted it down. You see the clock and the left-hand insert on your TV screen.
Smith coming in playing like a center field kind of position in that prevent defense, looking for that deep pass. Troy Lee actually lost his footing. Troy's been having a little bit of problem keeping his footing. I noticed that's like the third time he has fallen down out there, and maybe he'll get bigger, longer cleats.
Yeah,
How
you're
tall
right.
is Smith?
About 6'2".
He's about
6'3".
Is he that tall?
Yeah, I think he is.
6'1".
Because, you know, Crescenzi stood there. Crescenzi's
6'2"
6'2". He went
Dwayne.
straight up trying to get the ball and just got over his shoulder without touching him. It was offhanded.
This may be the last play of the game, folks. Third down and about 16. Viso back. He's throwing it. It's up for grabs. Picked off by Millville. With it is Troy Lee. Lee has the football going across the field. It's still running with the ball, and he's brought down. The game is over. The game ends with my prediction, a 7-7 tie. 2 years ago, repeated today. 2 years ago, it was a 0-0 tie. Today, it ends in a 7-7 tie with two very fine football teams tying each other today. And I think, it's a tribute to both squads for the quality of play that they've done in this game. They were very evenly matched teams, and as the score shows it, 7-7 tie. So I guess turkey will taste okay with everybody today without it being bitter to anyone in particular. But a tie is, as they say, like kissing your sister. But in this case, I think
my sister.
I do too. But, there's just one of those things. It's not like kissing your girlfriend or your wife or whatever the case might be. There you see the tie, 7-7. Millville, Vineland, Turkey Day 1988 is history. The 123rd meeting goes in. Now, who's going to get the trophy? I want to see Lou Tony give that trophy. What are they going to do? There's Tony Cerise giving a big hug to John Parentazzi. They're real good friends, real good gentlemen. You couldn't ask for two nicer people. And John out there with his crutches, and Tony comes over and gave him a big hug, and a lot of nice camaraderie between these teams. And I think, Hank, that is very impressive. I remember as a kid about 30 years ago being here and being really scared because there was a lot of fighting, a lot of terrible things happening as I was leaving. And, I very much visualize that. And that's been, when I was about 10 years old or so. But,
it was awful.
It was,
you look back on it,
and now
some of the things are legendary, but it was frightening.
It was horrible
scary.
as a young person to see that.
Stabbed
Absolutely. And I think it's a tribute to the fans. I hope I'm not speaking too prematurely here, but I'm sure not. The Millville Vineland fans, the people, the quality, the way that they've accepted it. There seems to be a lot less intensity as far as the fans fighting and things like that are concerned. Good, hard rivalry, fought on the field as it should be, and played very well. And a tribute to both teams today, too, in a very clean game. Very
well played.
No personal fouls for roughing or unsportsmanlike or anything like that. And I think that they're both winners. When you come out with a 7-7 tie, you got to say both teams are winners. They've played their hearts out. They've given it their all. Obviously, each one would have rather have won, but in this way, no one loses.
6-2-1. That's not a bad season.
No, it's not.
The problem is both cities are spoiled. 6-2-1 isn't that great for them. They're used to either one of the teams either going to the sectional championships or playing for the conference, at least the conference championship, and neither team was doing that today. But still, you couldn't prove it by the crowd. The crowd was as big as ever.
Absolutely.
You couldn't find a better crowd. A beautiful day to watch a football game, and I thought it was a great day. No one has anything to be ashamed of, and it was good football. Great defensive football.
Sure was. Okay, let's recap the scoring for you. First of all, at the 3:24 mark in the first quarter, Millville got on the board when Selby ran it in from 4 yards out to make it 6-0. Scott Shea kicked the extra point to make it 7-0, and that's the way the score stood until the 1:05 mark in the second quarter, when Chris Viso passed to Brad Bernardini for 14 yards and a touchdown to make it 7-6, and then Greg Loftus's extra point tied it at 7-7. And the entire second half was a defensive battle, and that's the way the ball game ended. Vineland 7, Millville 7. And Tony?
Yeah, to add something you may have not heard. The trophy goes to Vineland, the host team, for the first 6 months of the year, and it will go to Millville for the last 6 months of the year, and that makes it, what the heck, they both deserved it. Statistics are a little strange. They're the reverse of what they were the first half. Cephas carried the ball 14 times at 54 yards. Smith lost 2 yards on 5 attempts. Selby had 12 carries for 47 yards, and Stubbs had 4 carries for 12 yards with no passing yard. And Holmes had 2 yards, gave 115 yards with no passing yardage for Millville. They only attempted 3 passes and went 0 for 3, so they had 113. Whereas Vineland, Buckaloo was 11 carries for 28. Kevin Hart had 18 carries for 93 yards. Hicks had 8 carries for 4 yards plus, and or minus actually. Viso lost yardage, and so Vineland had 181 yards, but you had 56 yards on passes, as they were 5 for 17. Viso completed 5 of those, and then Hicks completed a pass. But the overall yardage, Vineland's about 170 yards to 113 yards. But the second half was basically Vineland, and when they got down to the 10-yard line, things looked good for
Yeah,
Vineland, and then the pitch
absolutely.
out hurt them. So all in all, it was a good game, a good way to end. But nobody likes